Hello viewers, and welcome again to Discovering Truth, and I am Pastor Forbes from the Gateway Abiding Word Ministries here in the Gambia. We are in the second part of the two-part series I promised you, and asking us what are our approval systems. What do we approve for life, how life must be lived, especially when we think of handing over the baton to the next generation, leaving a legacy that is good. What do we approve? In part one, we looked at some key things because we are now all thinking about COVID-19, its impact on our lives, certainly the sadness of lives that have been lost, but thanking God also for recovery and discovery of vaccines and all that. And we're saying over and beyond that, because this one thing which we cannot even see with our eyes has literally brought our world to a standstill, that borders are closed like we're at war with each other, travel bans are in place, schools are closed, hotels are closed, airports are closed, airspaces are closed, markets are closed. It's like as if we're at war. We are saying that for this and many other illnesses, sicknesses that end up becoming epidemics, that now end up in this case as a pandemic because of its ubiquitousness, we are saying that by and large a lot of these things boil down to lifestyle. And lifestyle manifestation is a function of behavioral mindset. And that's why the series is entitled, What Approval Systems Do We Have? Because whatever I approve of, I will let happen. To approve of something means to agree, to sign, to vote for it, to judge it, to stamp it, to say it's okay. And individual approval may have a direct correlation to my individual life's outcome, but once it becomes a bigger picture, family approval, street approval, village approval, and now we look at national approval. So if we take our country, for example, let's just take all the different ministries that we can think of. What is our approval system for tourism? Do we wait until a newspaper says there is some kind of decadent behavior going on, unthinkable, upsetting behavior, which is going to have a long-term effect on the lives of our little children? Do we wait for that before we now hold press conferences and shout and throw our arms in the air? No. What do we approve? Financially, what do we approve? Look at the system of changing your driver's license, having a new identity card, or if you are a non-Gambian, a residence permit, an alien's card. Look at the queues. Look at the proximity. What do we approve of? What systems do we approve of? Justice. What systems do we approve of? Policing, national intelligence. What system do we approve of? Do we instigate trouble and hide behind it and say these are the people that are wrong when we know we actually set a trap for people? There is ample evidence in our Truth, Reconciliation and Reparations Commission to show what we approve, because what we approve is the outcome that we will get. But ladies and gentlemen, there is remedy. COVID-19 will blow over. Ebola blew over. The Black Plague blew over. The bubonic plague blew over. Chicken pox, all these plagues blew over. But have we changed? People who have lived their lives in mountainous areas where they are prone to landslides, and people who live in volcanic regions, and people who are farming agriculturally, and just by their farming systems, they are opening craters It's a no-brainer that when something happens, either the earth reacts or heaven reacts or consequences come out of the causes. What do we approve? Our health system as a country, what is our approval system? Are we proactive or are we reactive? Or are we no active? Do we nationally cross the bridge ahead of time, or are we waiting for the bridge to come to us? What is our response? COVID-19 shot up somewhere around Christmas last year, December. And a doctor from the country where it all started suspected this from his training. He wasn't looking for a Nobel Peace Prize. He wasn't looking for anything. He was just doing his job. But political correctness, we cannot be seen to be lower than this other country, is what brought us to where we are. Even the race to get a vaccine, you can sense that this nation is trying to outpace this one is trying to do this one, we are going to be the first to get it. Actually, we want to even buy this other company. And it means that we are approving supremacy. Whereas when we sit down and look at the effect of this pandemic, it has not looked at your face, it hasn't looked like at your money, whether you are a prime minister, whether you are president, Hollywood star, whatever you are, everybody is prone. And all these three categories I just called have been touched. And right now we may say it doesn't touch this population, you have to be 51 and above. We have all these things, and that's good guide, but it's not something you can take to the bank. Because the little we all know about science, there is something called a mutation. Something can happen. What do we approve? Educationally, what do we approve? Because the verse of the Bible that we read last week, I just want to take it out and let it just stand by itself. It says that you may approve the things that are excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, there is excellence, there is well done, there is good, there is mediocre, there is bottom average, and there is downright no good. What do we approve? Whenever something is done and you want to do it excellently and somebody tells you, it tells you what they approve. So the question comes to us as all this is going on, and suddenly we are all becoming hygienic, we are all washing hands, we are elbowing, we are kicking each other's foot like soccer players, we are maintaining social distancing. If people cough, everybody takes notice. I smile, ladies and gentlemen, because you remember when you cough, people say, bless you. Now people don't say, bless you. People run away. Why? Because we are all seeing the importance of health, for longevity, for long life. You want to be around for your husband, for your wife, for your children, for society. So somebody sang a song and said, everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. And if that is true, then why don't we do generally, normally, regularly, the things that are excellent that will prevent our propensity towards untimely death due to carelessness? Maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago, I can't remember now, a movie was done called Contagion. If you watch that movie, it's almost what is happening today. And there are a series of them. Just Contagion comes to my mind. And you see towards the end, when this thing is blowing out, people in so-called, and I emphasize so-called civilized societies are breaking the doors of pharmacies, breaking the windows of supermarkets, and rushing to get food. Under normal circumstances, there will be TV cameras telling you this is a third world phenomenon. But ladies and gentlemen, the law of self-preservation is for everybody. So sometimes when you see a particular behavior in a community and you laugh at them and you put them on the front of a magazine and you call for $2 and £1, remember that you do not know tomorrow. But beyond it all, ladies and gentlemen, if we realign our hearts and listen to what God says, two things will happen. One, our conviction will give us composure and assurance that it will blow over. There are promises that God gives to his people who listen. Alternatively, if you want to sit down and analyze, and at the end of your analysis, nothing but fear comes your way. Because you see, if there is one case in a country, somebody will tell you there is 10. And if there are 10 cases in a country, maybe it will also be downplayed to sound like 2. It's all out of fear. What governments micromanage is out of fear. What people do and beat each other and snatch bottles of water and snatch toilet rolls is out of fear. I don't want to be left out. When people scramble for food, when Charlie 130 aircrafts are dropping grain over some of the Sahelian countries and people are scrambling, it's food, it's survival. But you never know how it will end. If anybody had told us globally, get ready for December, this is going to happen, a lot of people will laugh. Oh, she's a crazy woman. This man is stupid, he's crazy, he's a this, that. And of course, if it was a religious person, oh, he's a nuthead. Everybody will laugh at him. But we are all hiding. Those of us, or those of you rather, who are expert socialites, suddenly you don't want to be a socialite anymore. Even if you are invited to a day club and not a nightclub, you are afraid, you don't want to die. Those who run the streets and go home late are going home early. Those who take chances with their lives and their risk factor and risk coefficient is very high are now all being sanitized. Everybody is taking extra care, wiping surfaces. It means we can do it, ladies and gentlemen. We can do it if, one, we understand that as created in the image of God, we must treat this planet with respect and decency. And our generation should remember that there were people before us and there will be people after us. Sometimes you wonder why our parents look at us and say, Yendals and Adonas. You know, people say that to you, unatem. And for those of us who saw our parents' time and saw how your father could build a house just from his salary, your mother could build a house from her salary. And they brought you up, 5 of you, 7 of you, went to school, and today you are who you are. Brought us up with modesty. You don't waste things. You don't throw things. You don't destroy things. You don't just spit around. You just don't, you cover things. If you throw them properly. Wastage was not part of their culture. Inordinate, ambitious drive was not part of it. But today we are racing. Our nation has the vaccine. We are the first. It's as if we are still not learning the lessons, ladies and gentlemen. I am proposing very strongly that we begin to approve excellent ways of living. From the top of our nations, top of our continents, top of our companies, schools, religious outfits, to the lowest. That we don't segment our societies by Nino Amhalis. They were and then a gentry. These are the stiff upper lip people, the 1 percentile. Because COVID-19 has touched them all the way to prime ministers' homes, all the way to the executive homes, all the way to Hollywood, the stars, and God knows where else. Religious institutions are being affected. There are places where religious people are calling for, let there be no congregational prayer on Friday, let there be no meeting on Sunday. Now, if this was ordinarily said, people will go up in arms and swear and want to fight that it's secularism. And suddenly COVID-19 is teaching you it's not secularism. Let's approve the things that are excellent so we can live in peace and harmony on God's earth. And we can begin to make peace with God. Because, ladies and gentlemen, what if it doesn't blow over? I know it will. What if? When you look at those old plagues, the Black Plague, the bubonic plague, they wiped out cities, nations. When AIDS came, look at how everybody was scared and careful. Have we changed our lifestyles? We're even introducing new lifestyles, alternative lifestyles. So even if it's not God's judgment, it could be the earth just fighting back. And resetting our thinking that, hey guys, you are not in charge here. You do not own this earth. You cannot just treat it the way you want. Because everything follows cause and consequence. So we are being encouraged. You as a person, approve an excellent lifestyle. Use tissue paper. Bin it properly. Have dustbins around. Treat everything properly. Approve a healthy lifestyle. Let's approve even a healthy political lifestyle, because sometimes our politics becomes toxic. Toxic. A healthy religious life. Sometimes our religious lives and expressions become toxic. Commercial lifestyle. That I want to close this man's business so that my business can go on. I want to pay pirates so that they can attack this man's ships because his containers are there, so they can dump his containers in the ocean so I can be the sole importer and distributor. So where are we today? People say, well, my factories in China are not working. My things are stuck in Hong Kong. I believe each one has to sit down and do some deep introspective thinking, especially teenagers upwards, about our lives, the things we approve. So you go behind and agree with some people and you undermine somebody, and so that she loses her promotion, or you go to one marabout so that somebody's child gets crazy. We must approve an excellent life. Ladies and gentlemen, there is space on planet Earth for each one of us to live and self-actualize and have a win-win for everybody if we choose to approve excellent things, our system of approval. So I am saying post-COVID-19, I will not endorse bad, endorse evil, endorse filth. Just drive in my car and I don't like the shawarma and throw it out of the window. Spit on the hospital walls. Sneeze. And because I don't have a handkerchief, I looked left, I looked right, nobody's seen me, I wipe my fingers on the wall. Not approving an excellent and qualitative lifestyle makes our propensity to these kinds of things even higher. And so, to the credit of some other systems and cultures and communities, even though they are affected, their rapid response is there because they know what to do. Ladies and gentlemen, you can only attack a problem when you even know it is a problem. If you are fatalistic, you can't attack it. If you don't think, you can't attack it. Recently, I was having just a brief conversation with one medical professional, and he said to me, you know, if you go to one of our banks, and I think to their credit, let's say it's Standard Chartered Bank, as you enter in, somebody is checking your temperature and giving you the hand sanitizer, you wipe your hand and you stand in the queue. And then the health professional said to me, Pastor Forbes, I observed somebody, he had come in, went out, and the personnel in charge wanted to check his temperature and give him the hand sanitizer, and he refused. And his excuse was, I was here before. Now that kind of thinking could just be the index case that puts everybody in trouble. So if the gentleman had the approval system in him that this is a win-win, what does it cost me to do it again? What if by refusing, I become the index case? You know, ladies and gentlemen, as they say, hindsight is 20/20. I would have, I could have, I should have, if I been no, bumayegon. All those can sometimes be too late. But if we think win-win, and we see the global pandemic effect in every sphere of life and how long or short it's going to take for us all to recover, then I posit to you, let us approve the things that are excellent, as the Bible says. Shun mediocrity. Shun just managing, patching, average, bahnani. And just say, if it's worth doing, it's worth doing well. If it's a sense of preparation, I'm going to prepare, I'm going to be well prepared, and I'm going to be very well prepared. I take no chances, cross every T, dot every I, approve that which is excellent, and minimize the chances of a shortened lifestyle and all the economic meltdown that we are seeing happen. I'll stop here, and I kind of want to do a third part, maybe by the grace of God next week, but I'm asking God's grace and His mercy for us all. We are praying for our country, praying for the world, praying that all would go well. But one good way is for you and I to just decide that it's going to be excellence and nothing else in every area, even in job promotions. If it's excellence, it won't be suma jarbat, it won't be suma papapundao, it will be the person who merits it. Excellence has a way of making life go on, and excellence comes from what the Lord Jesus Christ tells us to do. Until I come your way by the grace of God next week, have a good day. May God preserve our country, and may God keep us all well. May God bless us. Have a good day.